Okay, so now we're going to get into practice. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start working on changing the story that you tell yourself. It will take repetition to train your subconscious to believe different things about yourself. This is very simple, but it takes time. Most of us with trauma have a voice that beats us up constantly, that tells us all day, every day, that we're a piece of shit. So that's one of the main obstacles in healing is every time you start to do anything, I'm going to take an action to start healing myself. That part of you that is talking shit to you constantly grabs you and stops you. It pulls you back. And so that's what we're going to tackle first. We're going to start talking to that part of yourself. We're going to start the process of changing that voice. All magic is transformation. So this is not an original thing. This is a common magical technique, and it's one of the many techniques that you will find in books on magic, books on mysticism, spirituality, and books on psychology. It's the first magic that I did specifically to improve my mental health. And I still do it. It is very simple and it's very powerful. You're simply going to tell yourself what you need to hear to change your self-image. The first time I did this, it was, I am sexy. I said that over and over and over again. I usually did this when I was commuting to work. Unfortunately, I still commute to work, and this is like 20 years ago. It's just driving to work. You're not doing anything. Turn off the radio for a few minutes, or the podcast, or the music. So I aged myself by saying radio, and just do a few minutes of this. You don't have to do it the entire drive to work. I did, but do it for a couple minutes. Do it for 1 minute. 1 minute a day, that's my challenge to you. You can say it out loud or in your mind. It doesn't really matter. It may seem to say something silly. It may seem silly to say something like, I am sexy, but at the time, my self-esteem was non-existent. Being sexy makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel confident and comfortable dealing with people. You don't judge yourself. You tell yourself what you need to hear, even if it may seem silly or weird or immoral to somebody else. Like, I am sexy might piss off your auntie, but tell yourself what you need to hear to start feeling better about yourself. It doesn't, you need to be honest, utterly honest with yourself in this and what you need to hear. And and you will know better than anybody else. The subconscious is smart, but in a completely different way. People say that the subconscious is dumb, but how can it possibly be when there's thousands of functions going on every second so that you can focus your conscious mind on other things? We say it's dumb because we can't control it, but that's, again, a pretty capitalist way of looking at things. It's like ROM, read-only memory. When you turn your computer off, the ROM is still there, and the battery, and I'm not in the battery. The ROM is still there in the chip. It's the most basic fundamental programming that tells your computer that it is a computer when you turn it on. Without this basic software, your computer couldn't function. It's so important that the manufacturer decided that you are not to be trusted to fuck with it. So it is very difficult, sometimes impossible, to access the ROM or to change it on your computer. Just so your subconscious never turns off. When you wake up and you run human.exe, that is your subconscious, that it runs 24 hours a day, and it's not to be fucked with because it is running you. So you can change it. It's not dumb, but it's hard to change. So you may have to repeat your custom mantra many times. And I have changed my mantra many times over the years when something is done serving me, and okay, what's the next step in my healing journey? What message do I need to hear now? I change it. But you need to just think about this, about any time, any free time that you have. This is going to be a repetitive thing. So there's a lot of different times when we're in idle mode. You know, when you're commuting, when you're in lines, you're waiting. I have taped mantras to the dashboard of my car. I have put them as currently what I started doing is putting them on as the lock screen on my phone. So when I unlock my phone, that's the first thing I see. Put it in places that you're going to see, that is going to remind you to do it. I mean, there's been various things that I've tried over the years. Like, I have used reminder apps in my phone to set up, to bring up different times of the day. I've used just like the basic timer function of my phone, or the calendar to set like alarms just every day to do these operations, and just whatever is going to work for you. I'm throwing things out there. Back in the day, it always used to be tape it in the mirror, tape it on the mirror, tape it on the mirror. But I mean, when you're depressed, you're not spending a whole lot of time in the mirror. So that's maybe like an 80s way of looking at things. When you're spending an hour and a half in front of the mirror every day. A lot of us aren't doing that, right? And so what ways are you going to be, what are you going to see? What do you look at every day? A book? Write it on a 3x5 card and put it as your bookmarker. Most of us, it's your phone. You know, I write a little something on there and save that as my background. Whatever it is, what do you see all the time? What do you need to hear yourself? What do you need to tell yourself? I am beautiful. I am smart. I am happy. I am calm. I am wise. I am confident. I love me. I am loved. I am enough. I've said all of those to myself all over the years. One that I have very recently used is, I am worthy. And you are worthy too. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of praise. You're worthy of attention. You're worthy of acceptance. You are worthy of your place in this reality. And this exercise is what getting yourself to believe that. I love you, and blessed be.